holding the line on building that would spread into farmland or into our watershed and well fields at the west. These are important issues. And they're important to fight because in Miami-Dade County, special interests have dominated politics for my whole life. And overdevelopment and the boom and bust cycle that come with it have dominated our economy for Miami's entire history. It's part of the reason why we're in the difficult situation we are now. I've fought these things on the outside now for 12 years half-time. I'm ready to take the fight inside. And I look forward to earning your vote. Was I just early on that? How did I do that? 5 seconds. To learn more, please take a look at electalbert.com. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Albert. And Eugene Flynn is next.
Thank you, and it's been my pleasure since 2002 to represent this area as the first mayor of the village of Palmetto Bay. People ask me why I am running, and it's quite simple. I think we've done some great things here in the village of Palmetto Bay, initiatives that I want to continue forward on the county commission. And when I talk about things, I really do talk in the collective we. I think in the village of Palmetto Bay, we have established a standard, a threshold that other cities are beginning to catch up with in regards to resident involvement, in regards to transparency, in regards to just meeting with your officials. One of the things that I was first told when I was elected by a fellow elected official was grow a thick skin. Well, I'm happy to report that I haven't had to. I wouldn't call myself thin-skinned, but at the same time, the activities that have been here in the village of Palmetto Bay have always been positive, always been goal-oriented, and that's what I'm going to bring to the county commission. 2 terms, we're a term-limited city here. It's worked well. As much as I love it here, I wish there were 12-year terms, but there's 2 4-year terms, and we move on, and that's great. That's something that we put in the charter, something we agreed then. As one councilman said, we got a 6-year term, 6 years of service. One of the initial ones, Paul Neidhart said, you just kind of learn things when you find out your terms are coming up. So I think it's important to have the experience, whether it comes from activists, whether it comes from service before, but I think certainly service to your PTAs and other groups make a big impact. I have that service as well. I originally got started in my daughter's PTA. I've got 2 daughters I'm very proud of, ages 15 and 11. The oldest one now started out at Coral Reef Elementary School and is now at Coral Reef Senior High. We are committed to the public school system. I have a plan in place to where I want to continue to work. We've started on the green corridor. We are going to create and make this place a green collar job mecca. And that's what's really being developed. That's the synergy, that is the critical mass that's developing here in the US 1 Transportation Corridor area. You can find out a lot of information about me at www.eugeneflynn.com. I'd invite you to go to the village website, see some of our initiatives. And the last thing that I'm excited about was we talked about, I've always talked, set reasonable goals and worked hard to exceed them. We talked originally about a gold LEED certified village hall. We worked hard, and within the money we had, going out and getting aggressive on grants and working, partnering with groups like FIU, we're going to get platinum. Now that's not chasing a title. That's bringing efficiency to the taxpayers. It's going to save over $50,000 a year in recurring operating expenses. So we'll talk about those things as things go on later tonight. But I thank you all for being here tonight.
Okay, the next one, I'm going to keep everybody in alphabetical order, if you don't mind, please. So, Danny Marmelstein was the next in the alphabet and could not be with us tonight, so Ira Gordon has his opening statement.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ira Gordon, and I appear tonight for County Commission candidate Danny Marmelstein. August 24th is the election, but those of us living here remember that August 24th brings back terrifying memories of Hurricane Andrew. As Danny puts it, we survived amid frightening damage. People went outside and saw the devastation, some of us meeting neighbors for the first time. We didn't ask if you were a Democrat or a Republican. We just asked, how can I help you, or would you please help me? In Danny's words, we need to level the playing field once again, because today we have another Andrew. Every one of us is sickened by the loss of property values, rising costs of taxes and insurance, layoffs and cutbacks when hundreds of millions of dollars are poured into a baseball stadium, and padding the pockets of elected officials' cronies. The government's decisions to spend on luxuries instead of needs, and their blatant examples of corruption are ruining our lives. We need very progressive thinking to change all of this. In biblical times, women were not permitted to learn. And they were denied many other rights that they have today. If our ancestors didn't fight for those rights, the women in this room wouldn't be here today. Don't forget that it was just 80 years ago that you were given the right to vote. It will take no less than the courage of those suffragettes who were bullied and tortured for taking their stand, for us to take the same stand and investigate, expose, and prosecute, if necessary, the ones who are stealing our hard-earned dollars. Danny Marmerstein will succeed in bringing sense and goodliness back to our local government. He is founding rabbi of a Kendall Synagogue, Ahavat alum, which does interfaith work, feeds the homeless, serves the returning veterans, and our newsletters include links for such causes such as Darfur, how to receive mammograms free from a breast cancer site, and requests to bring old cell phones to our temple office so they can be passed on to those that are in need and do not have those. Danny has never held a political seat, but like many of us, learned a new business quickly. He learned the building trade from his uncle. His uncle took him under his wing with the conditions that during the day he worked for the tradesmen and at night went and furthered his education, and Danny did that. He ran projects dealing with the building department, utilities, South Florida Water Management District. He was also the bookkeeper of the company. Danny loves the arts and supports many cultural organizations, and he holds a bachelor's in music from Oberlin, a master's in conducting from our beloved University of Miami. He was a musician for many years in Los Angeles, and now being a rabbi, he looks forward to serving the entire community to the best of his ability with the knowledge to change things that should. In closing, Danny sees the things that need to be done, the things that everyone else turns their heads away from, and works faithfully until the job gets done. I urge you to, I put some materials in the back, and I urge you to go to his website, dannyformiami.com. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And next up is Obdulio Piedra. As soon as we get the microphone over there. There we go.
Good evening. How are we doing today? Good. Great. I am doing great, but what's happening in Miami-Dade County isn't so great. And that's the reason why I decided to run for county commissioner. I have seen the huge sacrifices that we have made as individuals and as business people in our community. County government doesn't seem to get it and kept on growing and growing and growing. And now, at a moment of crisis, they're making these decisions that you'll see your park hours reduced. You're going to see that you're going to have to pay to park at parks. Bathrooms will be closed, and reduced services are coming. In a few days, it starts the electoral process with early voting. And on August 24th, which is the date of the election, the trim notices are going to be mailed to you that are property owners. 251,000 homes in Dade County will have their taxes increased up to 60% on the debt service millage. While you have made those sacrifices, county government doesn't seem to get it. I'm running on a platform of accountability, transparency, and fiscal responsibility. That is the main focus of what I think needs to happen in the county. And why? The reason why is that there are 54 departments within the county. The state of Florida runs a $70 billion budget and has about 23 departments. Why is county government so bloated and bureaucratic? Ask yourself. We need to reduce the size of county government so that there's more accountability, transparency in its process.